Mogul Keeper. We've had JobKeeper, we've had JobSeeker, we've even had DobKeeper, hashtag on Twitter, and now we've got Mogul Keeper. This is the government's absolutely astonishingly bizarre policy to prop up its Canberra bubble media mates heading into the next election. 100 million payments from Google to Nine News, Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation, Guardian Australia, and one or two others. But guess who's paying for this? It's not Google, it's you. The public will pay for this because Google and Facebook are simply going to claim it as a business tax deduction, as they should. Now, normally that will be paid for on the other side, but of course Rupert Murdoch doesn't pay tax. As we've reported, 6 years of ATO transparency data for News Australia Holdings Limited, his flagship company in Australia, zero tax, billions of dollars of income. Because Rupert doesn't pay tax, you will be paying for it. The biggest regulatory challenge for all governments around the world is to rein in surveillance capitalism, Google and Facebook, the encroaching, insidious control they have over everybody's lives because they're so dominant, such huge monopolies. They affect behaviour, they affect elections. That will only grow. That is the nature of surveillance capitalism. It will grow unless it's restrained. These media laws do nothing to address that absolutely critical global problem. What they do is just pass a little bit of money from Google to Rupert Murdoch and a few others, and you, because of the tax deductions being claimed by Google and Facebook and the service fees which they will add, you will be paying for it. We've got a story up by Giles Parkinson, the editor of Renew Economy. The story is that he applied to get JobKeeper, and whereas the propaganda machines, the Canberra bubble operators, have all got JobKeeper, he's in the energy and climate space, real reporting, having to address the mayhem which arises from news corporations reporting of climate and climate denialism. Giles has been doing this for 5 or 10 years. He's got a large audience, he tells the truth, it's truly independent journalism. Guess what? He goes to get on Google's News Showcase to get financed by this marvellous world-first government scheme. They send him a one-line email from Google in Singapore saying that they're only interested in public interest journalism. So to recap, nothing for public interest journalism, an avalanche of propaganda financed by Google, which will be financed by you as the taxpayer because Google will merely claim tax deductions. Murdoch won't be paying for the other end, or the ABC if they do the deal because they don't pay tax. And no policy at all to address the really critical challenge globally, which is surveillance capitalism, which are the power of Google and Facebook, the unrestrained power. Nothing, just some money for Murdoch and other Morrison media mates. That is it. Labor and the Greens voted for it as well. The entire Parliament are so scared of Rupert Murdoch, or they just don't know how the internet works, and that's how this bill was passed. You can support independent media by subscribing to our Patreon.